Good morning, everyone. Michael here with Natural Law on the Move. Today, we are going to discuss and explain a very important concept in the realm of what really shapes our reality, and that is the law of freedom. The law of freedom, put simply, states that the amount of freedom an individual or a society experience is directly proportional to the amount of morality found within that individual and within that society. There's a lot of buzzwords here that we need to unlearn. As somebody said, somebody said that the literate of the 21st century, or the educated, will be not those who have learned, but those who can unlearn the fastest, because we got taught a load of bullshit at school. Okay, so the amount of freedom is directly proportional to the amount of morality in society. Freedom, as we have seen before, is the ability to do whatever you want without harming other people. And unfortunately, we don't have that much freedom in the world. We might have a little bit more than other places in the world, though that's changing very quickly. However, true freedom, which is what this country was founded on, is not found today, unfortunately. And that is directly because the level of morality in our society today has sunk to abysmal lows. Here's another word that pisses everybody off. We talk about morality. When I say that, I don't mean something, the popular distraction buzzwords, such as gay marriage or something like that. You know, if gay people want to get together, that's a peaceful activity. Who cares? Actually, marriage license laws were meant to prevent. Why is the government even involved in marriage? Why do you even want the government involved in your marriage, you idiot? Instead of saying, oh, government should allow them to get married, why don't you say government shouldn't stop anybody from getting married, ever? At least as long as they're consenting adults. But that's another topic. Okay, so when I say morality, I mean the true difference from right and wrong. A right action being anything that does not harm another sentient being, a wrong action being an action that does harm another sentient being. Harm being defined as theft of some sort, whether it's theft of their life, of their property, of their freedom, of their time, of their sense of well-being, or of the truth. Okay? So, as a society becomes more and more immoral, or less and less moral, which is exactly what we have today, and it's been a long time coming, then the amount of freedom that society will experience. So, as we said, a wrong action is stealing. Stealing or theft is another wrong action. Well, that's just what taxation is, and that's what most of the people around in the world today, unfortunately, idiotically and stupidly and immorally subscribe to. Oh, we need to steal from everybody, otherwise how can we get anything done? We'd find a way. If it was that fucking important. If it wasn't that fucking important, like funding a war or a stupid drug war or just whatever most of the fucking government steals your money for and then lines the pockets of those connected to it. Whatever they use it for is not needed, is not necessary, is not wanted, so it wouldn't exist. However, if it was wanted, people would find a way. You can guarantee that. So, I'd say about 99.999% of people believe that taxation is right and moral and just. They believe that stealing from their neighbors, their brothers and their sisters is a right thing to do. So as a result, the universe is going to punish your ass and it's going to take away your freedom, which is exactly what you see today. What you see today is a manifestation of what's going on within. Yeah. So if you want the movie to change, don't get pissed off at the movie. Well, you can, but understand the underlying causal factors which caused the movie to be on the screen in the first place. And that is a plethora and a proliferation of immoral, disgusting behavior. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But the theft is one thing that's huge, and it's prevalent, and it's rampant, and it's everywhere. And so that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a nasty, immoral society wherein the freedom is slowly and steadily, actually not slowly anymore, steadily disappearing. I mean, think about 150 years ago. Think about how much freer Americans were. 1870, 1880, 1890. There's no income tax. There's no any tax. You didn't need a license or a permit or any of that horse shit. You just did what you wanted to do. Unbelievable. And Americans were so much freer than today. richer too, in practical terms. We might have more stuff and more plastic stuff, but that's all purchased on debt, and that's going to come to an end soon. You can guarantee that. And yeah, that's a topic for another video though. Okay, so that's the law of freedom. Here's just another example. I lived in China for a long time, and back in the 1930s and 40s, they didn't have the best place, but because they were, you know, I'll be honest with them, a lot of Chinese people, they're great to me, they're fantastic, but they're not so great to each other. And they'll be the first ones to admit that. They are not so great to each other. They enshrine immorality. Basically, whatever you can do and get away with it, go for it. Not everybody, of course, there's lots of exceptions, but I lived in the countryside of China. I remember people would walk by, they steal our fruit off our trees and just eat it as they're walking to school or walking to work or wherever they're going. It's not yours. That's an immoral action. So your freedom's being taken away as a result. That happens to people on an individual scale, and it happens to people on a nationwide or worldwide scale. And some people I've explained this to say, oh no, there's no such thing as an aggregate or collective. Well, there's no such thing, I agree, as like some pervading collective thing. But there is, stupid thing, but there is a collection of individuals. And if most individuals are living dastardly lives that are immoral, then the end result's going to be pretty nasty. And that's what happened in China, 1940s, 1950s. They went full-on communist, which is just, you know, full-on dictator. And they had their thing called the Great Leap Forward, which is actually a terrible plunge backwards. So funny how they get these nice marketing campaigns. The Great Leap Forward. Yeah, it sounds so great. Who could be against that? Healthcare for all. The Patriot Act. You guys are fucking pathetic. And the people who fall for this type of marketing bullshit are fucking pathetic too. Here's a bunch of little kids who see something on the TV, go, oh, I want that. Oh, the guy on TV said so. That sounds good. Free healthcare. Yeah, I like that. That's a whole nother story, a whole nother video. But you guys are fucking pathetic. Fucking pathetic. You guys are a disgrace. You're a joke. A big, fat, fucking joke walking around. I like it free. Oh, gosh. Okay, so, yeah, the rat in social... The rat also doesn't understand... I messed it up. The rat also thinks the cheese is free. And in socialism or communism, you get so much free stuff. It's amazing. Okay, so anyway, the Chinese at that time, they went full on immoral. All their private property gone, forced labor, all for the good of society. And as a result, many of those people starved to death. I mean, millions. Millions! Unbelievable. If you go to China today, it's unbelievable the abundance there, especially with food. There's a restaurant every like 20 feet, and it's so cheap. You know, 5 times cheaper than here in America. Not only do they have so much, but because they have so much less regulation. Restaurants don't have to charge so damn much because their costs are a lot lower. In a lot of ways, it's a lot more free society than it is here. And guess what? They're all safe, more or less. I lived there for 4.5 years. I never had a problem. Nobody I knew had a problem. It's just shit you see on the news. Oh, the restaurant is dangerous. Unbelievable. That's the same there, though. The news is just propaganda bullshit meant to frighten you so that you give up more freedom. Okay, anyway, the Chinese people went full communist then. Some of them were forced along into it, but all their rights were taken away. Their society descended into a level of immorality untouched in the modern world, except by another Soviet communist state and by a National Socialist state in Germany in the 1930s. Yes, the Nazis, that stands for the National Socialist German Workers' Party. Oh, bet you didn't know that one. Why didn't they teach that at school? Why did they just say the Nazis instead of the National Socialists? I wonder why. So anyway, they descended into a horrible level of immorality in China, and as a result, they got what they deserved, frankly speaking. Unfortunately, some people got caught up in the crossfire, but there were a lot of people then who supported that bullshit. And a lot of them starved to death and left this earth. And that's the result. Then about 10 years later, they had a cultural revolution, wherein basically, well, what's happening today is happening. They destroyed all the old oppressive statues, because that's what will set you free, destroying a statue. And for 10 years, they largely starved to death and killed each other. People who lived through that time will not talk about it, even 50 years after the fact. They clam up. The bravest, strongest people, not talking about that at all. Basically hell on earth for 10 years, 10 to 12 years. And that's a result. And that's what we're gonna get here in the formerly free United States of America, unless we get our act together right quick and learn the difference between true right and true wrong, learn what true morality is, get our thumbs up out of our asses and be like, oh, the morality, oh, you must be Republican. You're so fucking dumb if you think that way. You're mind-controlled, a piece of dumb garbage who thinks that way, who's learned fucking nothing in the last 10, 15 years. You just slurped it down, they poop in your mouth, and you good. I like this trash. I can't, there's nothing outside of it. There's no other opinions. It's just 2 opinions in the whole world. You guys are fucking stupid. So anyway, we will see. This isn't for you guys. You guys are fucking dumb. Dumb as a bag of fucking hammers or rocks. And it's more for the people who are waking up as I did, who saw through the bullshit but just couldn't articulate it. And so here you go. That's the law of freedom. As morality increases, freedom increases, which is wonderful for everybody. And as morality declines, which it is right now, freedom declines. So let's stop the course, let's change direction, and let's have a better future. At least that's what I'm doing. Have a great day. Natural Law on the Move. Michael McGillicuddy here. Peace.